How's everybody doing? Good. Well, we started work today on Duke. Really, for the first time, we used a couple days this week to really focus on improving and how much we can improve. And we had each coach on the staff sort of do a little, mini scenario for each player as to what we really need to focus on. We did some work on, next year's opponents. But now that we start for Duke, the big question is, what kind of identity is this team going to create for itself in terms of what they want to accomplish, the standard that they do it to. It's not always about whether you won or lost, but how did you win? It's not even about it's just how do you play? I mean, what is your reputation as a player? And I think, questions that players should ask is, did I play well? Was I accountable to do what I was supposed to do? Did the guy next to me play well? Because, football is a funny game. 10 guys can do what they're supposed to do, and if one guy doesn't, play doesn't work. Quarterback gets sacked, somebody's wide open on defense and make a big play. So everybody's got to do their job. It's a great team game, and if you don't want to play it as a team game, then you can go play tennis or golf or something else where it's just about you, and those are great games, and I love them both. And can we win as a team? Can everybody put the team first, play together, do what they have to do to support each other so that we can have great team chemistry? And do we have enough tough guys that are really warrior types in terms of how they compete on a consistent basis so we can sustain the season? So, that's really, where we're at. So, this is the first opportunity this team has to be judged as to how they play and who they are. So, we got lots of work to do, but we're, certainly interested in finding out, like a lot of other folks probably are. Antonio Alfano was back at practice today, and, he had a couple days for personal reasons. Ray Rice was out there today. He's going to be here as a Title IX speaker to the team tonight, which I think is a good thing for our players. And we'll continue to work tomorrow, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, for this game to try to get our players to play really well against Duke, who is a really good team. I mean, they won 8 games last year and very well coached and present some issues and problems scheme-wise that we certainly need to work on.
Coach, we'll start over here on the right with Charlie. How have you seen Trayvon Diggs approach this offseason and preseason, especially since he missed more than half of the year last year?
He's worked really hard. I think he has much better knowledge of what to do, how to do it, why it's important to do it that way. Discipline, eye control is always something that's really important to defensive backs, and we continue to work with all of them on that. But I've been really pleased with his progress, and even his leadership has been very, very good.
On the back with Cecil.
Coach, Jerome Ford was back, at least in our viewing period today. Where does he fit back in now that he's back from his injury?
Well, we're going to work him in and see what he can do and try to do more and more each day and see if we can get him back to 100%. He's done really well before he was injured, so we plan on him playing in the game. And if he's healthy enough and doctors clear him and we feel like he's 100%, we'll play him in this game. If not, we'll have to wait and kind of see how he progresses. So it's going to be more day-to-day at this point to try to make that judgment.
Yes, you mentioned Ray Rice. How did that come about that he would be coming as a speaker, and what do you expect that message to be?
Well, he's obviously going to talk about how to treat the opposite sex and having the proper respect for, other people. And I think that's important to relationships. It's important as a person to be able to do those things in a very respectful manner. And I think that a lot of players can relate to his circumstance, and it'd be interesting to hear a guy that has had issues that, now has turned a corner and really doing everything he can to help other people not have the same problem that he has, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for him for doing that. So, and we're certainly glad to have him here.
Stay on that side with Chris Walsh.
Just going back to the secondary, I know every single team is different, but in an ideal situation, how many positions do you want each guy to know, and why is that so important?
Well, I don't think it's about how many positions each guy knows, because some guys are only capable of playing one position. I think the most important thing is that you have enough guys on your team who have the diversity to learn more than one position, if that makes sense. So we're fortunate, I think, now that we have a lot more guys this year that can do that. It's very similar to the offensive line. You know, if you only have guys that can play tackle, and you only have guys that can play guard, and you only have guys that can play center, if one guy goes down, you can't get the best 5 guys in the game because there's no diversity to move guys around. Same thing in the secondary. You have one guy go down. You know, if you have diversity, you can still get the best guys in there that have the most experience because they have the diversity to be able to play multiple positions. And you're not forced to put somebody in as a backup because nobody else can play that position, even though you have better players on your team, if that makes any sense, that have more experience. So, like, you know, Shaheem Carter can play star, money, either safety. X plays safety and money. Patrick can now play corner and star. Jared Maiden can play either safety or star. You know, we've taught DeMarco Helms to play safety and money. Jalen Armour-Davis can play corner and star. I mean, we have a lot more guys that know a lot more, you know, about the various positions. But, you know, that comes with experience because young players usually learn one thing. And then once they learn that one thing, like we attempted last year to play Patrick at star. And then we said, we can't do that. He can just play corner. All right, so it's too much for a young guy. So he just played corner all year. So we have some of those guys now have a year's more experience because we really had all new guys in the secondary last year. So we didn't have a lot of diversity in terms of multiple position players. We have a lot more of that now.
I know he's coming off an injury, but what have you seen from DJ Dale, and how much improvement has he made from the spring until now?
Well, he was really doing well until he got hurt. So he missed, I don't know, maybe a week, 10 days. He's probably getting back to pretty normal, but we've been really pleased with his initial quickness. He plays with power. He's a very conscientious, smart player, learns well, executes well, doesn't really act like a freshman at all. And we've been very pleased with him. We just want to try to get him back in shape now. Hopefully through the reps he gets between now and then, he'll be able to play more in the first game.
Couple more. Start with Ryder.
How good is Jeudy as a route runner, and is the entire route tree available to him? And also, how vital is it for him to be able to kind of move around to different spots and
Well,
fit
first
for
of
the
all,
offense?
he's always been a guy, even last year, that moved around and could play all the spots. So I guess if he can play all the spots, that means he has the whole route tree. He's good inside. He's good outside. He's good against man-to-man. He's very instinctive against zone. So, you know, the guy's a really good player, and we certainly need to try to get all the guys on offense that have playmaking ability enough touches that they get opportunities to make plays. And he's one of those guys, but we have several other guys that would like to do the same thing with.
We'll wrap up here with James.
Jalen Waddle was talking earlier today about just mastering the finer details of playing receiver and making his breaks more believable. With your defensive background, I just was curious the improvements you've seen from him in that area.
Well, I think that as you gain experience, you sort of gain a little bit more respect for, if I do this right, I've got an even better chance to be successful. And I think Jalen has matured into that, and he made a tremendous amount of plays last year, and hopefully he'll continue to have a great year this year for us. But I do think that he has grown and matured in terms of, you know, the fundamental things that you need to do at the position to be successful on a more consistent basis.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thank you, guys.